taste all the senses, get it overall, 100 taste buds, feel the cream, feel the texture, feel the sweet, aerate it. That's a 10. That's it. That's the start of the episode. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Wonderful. It's a loose, casual podcast. We don't have to do the same thing in the intro every time. But hey, it's Griffin and Rachel here, keeping it real.
I would like to introduce myself.
Yeah, it's Griffin here.
Hi, this is Rachel McElroy.
And that's a 10. If you know what I'm saying. What if people haven't seen the video of the man taste testing the ice cream?
I'm almost sure nobody else has.
It's entirely possible. Man.
Griffin showed this to me very early in our courtship.
It's true because I needed her to know where I learned the art of seduction. I'll probably link it in the episode description unless I forget, which I almost certainly will. Just search for man ice cream taste. Hey, this is a podcast where we talk about stuff that we are really enthusiastic about, stuff we're really into.
It's called Wonderful.
It's called Wonderful. Maybe not. I did a lot of ice cream man goofs at the top and didn't prioritize the name of the show. First things first, healthy boy sitting over here, feeling so good for the first time. Okay, I still cough a lot.
I'd say about 95%.
95%. I'm getting there, though. The road to health was a long one. Thank you all for... Fair dinkum. But anyway, mostly better. And yeah, I'm just excited to share my life with you, my health life. So,
I am also very eager to have that with you again.
Yeah, we can finally get back to our, mountain biking and extreme
rappelling.
Extreme rappelling, which is you do it without the rope, which is really just kind of falling down a mountainside pretty fast and hoping for the best. Hey, you got any small wonders?
I do. Yeah. Michelle Obama has a book out. And it just looks super, super great. It's called Becoming.
Is this what you just checked out from the library?
No, it's not.
Oh.
You think I could get my hands on that at the library
That's
right now?
a good point. It's a hot commodity.
I could sign up for a waiting list and get it in approximately 2 years.
Okay. I want to bring, first off, Fallout 76 comes out tonight at midnight, the night that we were recording this. I don't know how good a game it's going to be. I don't know how deep it's going to be.
You just want to take a walk down memory.
I have to play it, right? I've seen some pre-release footage and seeing people. I was watching today and just a Twitch stream of somebody in the UK because the game is already live there, and they were just walking on the bridge over the New River Gorge, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" This really is something special for West Virginia. I feel like I kind of scoffed at how the tourism board is making a huge deal out of it, but it is fucking cool that this place I grew up, I can walk around a digital place.
That is
which I never really thought
awesome.
would happen.
Yeah, of course.
Also, there's a video circulating right now on social media of behind the scenes footage of when they first recorded the Baby Back Ribs theme song. That is absolutely my shit.
I saw that.
Oh, it's them in the fucking studio just laying it down and that's my shit. That hey Griffin, that thing that was the first meme kind of basically back in the day.
This is a reference for those of you that aren't familiar.
They got to know what it is.
To the Chili's commercial.
Yes, this is the original cut. The original artists, talented folks, just in the studio, just doing the shit. It is so fucking fresh. Look it up. You will not be disappointed.
Is the barbecue sauce guy everything you'd want him to be?
The barbecue sauce guy is like Batman. He is the Dark Knight because the dude who's really putting in work and earning his paycheck is I want my baby back, baby, because he is nonstop. He is all over this video. And then you get two guys who come in with the Jellies and they harmonize and then just out of the shadows, just dropping in from a ceiling tile that has moved out of place. This guy drops in and goes, barbecue sauce, and it's gone.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how everybody kept their composure during that recording.
And what's best is at the very end of the video, literally it's a guy sitting at a studio op board, just hitting the button, just yeah, knowing that we fucking got it. That's it. That's
a 10.
That's a 10. Hey, you start this week. Can you tell me about your first thing?
So this is going to be kind of a journey.
Okay.
Just to let you in on my process.
Okay.
There are several websites that I kind of browse around when I'm looking for a topic.
Okay.
One of them led me to today's topic.
Okay.
Don't worry, that website is Smithsonian Mag.
Okay.
So it's, it's relatively PG. Although, the topic I am bringing, and this is going to be
Should I take a big drink of water before?
So they're called nuptial gifts.
Okay. These are like the wood for one year or whatever. Two paper for two. No?
Nuptial gifts are food items or inedible tokens that are transferred during courtship among birds, insects, and spiders.
Except for, can you say it again, but not the spiders one? Can you say it again? Just be like for birds. Just really for birds.
And this includes birds.
Only. Say only birds. Do this.
Completely birds.
Completely birds.
Just birds. It's also known as courtship feeding.
Oh my God. Tell me everything.
Oh, I want you to.
We haven't done an animal one in a while. I'm excited.
I want you to enjoy this moment right now because it is going to get worse for you.
Oh no. Wait, is it like.
Let me start out.
Yucky?
Let me start out. So, Karim Verheed is a professor of etymology at the University of Derby in England, and he is like the foremost expert in this area.
Okay.
So let me just start you off with male katydids.
I feel like katydids are always up to no good.
So male katydids produce what is called a spermatophore.
All right, that sounds bad already.
Which contains both ejaculate and a mass of edible jelly. This can be up to 30% of their body mass.
Oh my God. I'm imagining a katydid just like smoking a cigarette, like, you just hollowed me out. Did you enjoy my edible jelly that was 30% of my body mass?
So the female consumes the jelly while the male is
what a Trojan horse this is.
Depositing
you freaking sneak thief coming in here. It's marital gifts. When birds get married, do they give each other
little smooches with like a little like berry?
When you said nuptial, I imagine like birds getting married. That's how like into the idea I was, that I wasn't thinking about it logically. And now you're like, katydids feed each other cum that it sort of constitutes a third of their body weight.
So for male katydids, by giving them this spermatophore, they
just jelly. Just say jelly. Just say edible jelly.
Just edible jelly.
Sperm is also edible jelly.
I feel really bad for somebody that might be like eating this while eating like a PB&J.
Eating this while eating a PB&J? I hope they're not. Unless a katydid got its hands on it and pulling a gross prank.
So by giving this gift to the female, the male ensures that she will spend some time consuming it. Say that again. So this kind of locks her down. So she is eating the jelly.
It's a feast. It's 30% of his body mass. It's a fucking smorgasbord.
So she's not going to go anywhere. So they can have that moment together.
Oh yeah, man. Lovers. This is a big deal. This meal of him and his jelly.
Do you want to hear about nursery web spiders?
Almost certainly I don't. This is almost like we almost need to say like content warning for spiders, because like I am going to be like troubled by this for sure.
This is actually fun.
Okay.
I think. So a lot of the examples I'm going to give you are just like an edible gift given to the partner. But what's funny about nursery web spiders is what they will do sometimes is they will provide a fake meal. So they will wrap an inedible item often in webbing and provide that to the female as like a, hey, look what I got you. And then when they've, lured them in, surprise.
Why would I? This isn't fun. This is mean. At least when the katydid gives a third of its body weight in ejaculate, like it's something, Mm-hmm. But a spider saying like, oh, look at this. It's Taco Bell. It's wrapped up in my web in the shape of Taco Bell. But it's a whole burrito. So you want to smash? Okay, we smash. You unwrap it and it's like 3 rocks. And he's like,
I just enjoyed the trickery there.
What? By the way, nursery web spider? No, thanks. I don't want any spiders in my nursery, thanks. And please don't send me Facebook links about how great spiders are. I know they're a valuable part of the ecosystem, but
you want to hear about the ornate moth?
I do like moths.
Okay. So this is kind of a lighter fare, literally, because it is only 10% of the male's body weight.
Oh, okay.
What's great about this one, also ejaculate, but
sure,
includes alkaloids that serve as a chemical defense from predators.
Oh, okay. My seed will protect us.
Yeah, so there's some benefit to the female that goes beyond just nourishment. And this represents, this is the quote, this represents the total parental investment of the male.
See ya. You've got my ward on our household.
You want to get to the birds now?
I don't think I do. I'm kind of okay with this nasty stuff being sort of the business of the bugs.
The northern shrike is a songbird known for impaling mice, insects, and even other birds on sharp twigs. The males present this skewer, and the females select the fellow who offers the largest nuptial gift.
Whoever can bring the choicest kebabs.
Exactly.
That is, what?
There's a picture I saw of
I can't. A picture you saw of, sorry, that was rude.
One of those items that I outlined on like a branch, just ready for presentation.
Ready for roasting. Mm-hmm. What's a bird going to do with a dead, I guess they eat them, but they're not carnivores,
well,
are
so
they?
Here's the thing. So there is a theory that since animals, females often, and in this example, female birds, expend a great deal of energy on reproduction,
right?
Their success rearing young can be increased by the convenience of a mate delivering food.
Right. I'm saying like meat though, like are they? I guess birds eat meat. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know. I don't know fucking anything.
I will just say that it is just like an example of a male providing in a way that I guess would make a woman think.
I mean, it's probably harder than, I don't know what's harder actually, being a bird and having to do spear combat, learn how to use a javelin as a bird, or ejaculating 30% of your body weight. That's a tall order also in its own right. You know what I mean?
This season on The Biggest Loser.
Like if I had to go out into a field with a couple of longhorns in it, which is like not uncommon around here in Texas, I know where I could scrounge up some longhorns. And all that you gave me was like a long, sharp pole. And you told me to bring you one of those longhorns for mating feast. I don't know if it would be easier for me to do that or ejaculate 30% of my body weight. Because the latter one would take me a while.
I mean...
And I'd probably have to try to lose some body weight just to meet it in the middle a little bit. Why did you bring this?
I just think it's wonderful. I really... So the thing that was funny about this was they introduced the concept because I started reading a lot of articles about it, and they introduced it like, how men will often provide women with an engagement ring when they propose marriage.
Yeah.
Well, other species also provide gifts when looking to commit to someone.
So it's 3 months of salary or 3 months
or
of
30% of your body
3
weight.
months of a 3-month load. It's terrible, the things we've said. We're 14 minutes in and the things we've said are terrible. But do you want to know my first thing? Can I tell you something?
Yes.
It's food. So I should maybe switch it with my second thing and give it some space from your first thing. How about that? Why don't we switch it?
Okay.
My second thing is Eric Carl. Eric Carl.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, this is going to be a nice little sort of tonal shift. Eric Carl, if you're not familiar with him, which I was not before I had a child.
Is that true?
That is true. Like I knew his work, obviously, but I didn't know him. I did not know him by name for sure.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think he does not necessarily. He's like one of the most prolific and successful. For sure, his art is super recognizable. But I don't think he has like the name recognition of a Seuss, for example. But Eric Carl is the author of The Very Hungry Caterpillar and a bunch of other stories. How do you say that word? Do you say caterpillar? Do you like enunciate the R in the middle?
Caterpillar.
Caterpillar. I know a lot of.
Caterpillar.
I'm trying to think because I said it caterpillar there and it felt weird coming out of the mouth.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So anyway, the thing that I feel like I was not prepared for before we had our child is how one of the most like grueling forces that you have to sort of fight against is the force of like repetition, especially as they get to the point where like there is certain types of media that they only want to consume. To wit, we have probably 40 books, right? We probably have about 40 books over there.
More than that.
40 to 50 books, I will say. And I have read all of them over a dozen times. The Eric Carle collection, I have almost certainly read. There's some of them I've definitely read 100 times at this point. The thing is, that's true of like a lot of the books that we have, and the Eric Carle ones are still like, they're still kind of fun to me. And they are so iconic, and I feel like they do stand out so much. They're just like, they're really gentle books. They're really soothing. They're really nice to look at. Again, The Very Hungry Caterpillar is his most successful book. It's like sort of an iconic picture book about a little caterpillar who hatches from an egg and then eats a bunch of garbage and then goes to sleep for a while and then turns into a butterfly. And like most of that is stuff that I can fuck with for sure. This book is so successful. I did not really like appreciate how successful it was. It has been translated into more than 64 languages, and it has sold more than 46 million copies, which is equivalent to 1.7 copies sold every minute since it was published. Which is wild. I knew it was like a big deal, right? Because every kid like knows this story, but I guess I didn't realize it was like a Harry Potter phenomenon.
We're also talking, for those that aren't familiar with the caterpillar, brown bear.
Brown bear, what do you see? The whole blank bear, what do you blank collection. There are 4 books. This book, the Very Hungry Caterpillar, is like so beloved because it is again like a nice and gentle tale, but it's also, like you mentioned, like Eric Carle's art style is so instantly recognizable. All of his artwork is created through collage, where he cuts and layers hand-painted papers to create these lovely images. There's like, all of his books have stuff like this, but I feel like The Very Hungry Caterpillar, this is maybe a weird thing to say, but like there's a long section that's just like a bunch of different types of food that he has done in this like lovely like collage style. That food looks so fucking good. The page that has like all the garbage food on it, that's like one hot dog, one cupcake, one slice of cheese, pickle. There's 2 different types of sausages. I see that and I'm like, damn, those will look fucking good. And it's because of his very good art style, I guess. It's amazing. So the thing about Eric Carle is his life, a majority of it until adulthood, was like super difficult. He was born in New York City, and then when he was 6, his mom was sort of missing Germany, which was her sort of motherland, and so they moved back to Germany right before World War II.
Oh man!
When he was 15, he was conscripted by Nazi forces to dig trenches in the Siegfried Line, which was this 400-mile long defensive line that like Russian prisoners and children and conscripted people were like forced to dig. It was awful. It was miserable. And he moved to New York City in 1952 after the war with $40 in his pocket and got a job as a graphic designer in the like advertising promotions department of the New York Times. And then he was drafted in the Korean War, but then he came back and he did the New York Times thing again. And it was while he was like doing illustrations for the Times that he was contacted by Bill Martin Jr., who is another children's author. His jam, if you know a bunch of children's books, Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, that was old Bill Martin Jr. And he wanted to collaborate with him, and thus the Brown Bear, What Do You See series was born. This book is fantastic. It's just a bunch of different animals asking what they see, and then they say the next animal in sequence. So Brown Bear, what do you see? I see a red bird looking at me. I could probably do that whole book verbatim. Mm-hmm. It's brown bear, red bird, yellow duck, blue horse, green frog, purple cat, white dog. White dog. White dog.
Black cat.
Black sheep, goldfish, teacher, students. God. Good. Anyway, that's a useless bit of trivia that will never come in handy ever again. So after they published Brown Bear, first of all, that's a 4-book series, which is buck wild because all of them are basically the same. But he went on to publish, and he went on to rather illustrate and write his own books solo, and hence his long and prolific career got started. He's still like knocking out books.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was a sort of another Caterpillar like holiday book, I think, that came out in 2017.
Ooh, we got to get that one.
Yeah, we do for sure. So like Eric Carle's books are like I said, like very gentle and very like nurturing, for lack of a better word. And that is like by design. And it's kind of what he attributes a lot of his success to. They are focused on like developing, intellectual activity among like very young people, and sort of like nurturing their curiosity and recognizing their feelings in a very like Mr. Rogers way, where it's like your feelings are valid even though you are a child. Like that doesn't make your feelings less valid than mine. He has a quote that says, "With many of my books, I attempt to bridge the gap between the home and school. To me, home represents, or should represent, warmth, security, toys, holding hands, being held. School is a strange and new place for a child. Will it be a happy place? There are new people, a teacher, classmates. Will they be friendly? I believe the passage from home to school is the second biggest trauma of childhood. The first is, of course, being born. Indeed, in both cases, we leave a place of warmth and protection for one that is unknown. The unknown often brings fear with it. In my books, I try to counteract this fear to replace it with a positive message. I believe that children are naturally creative and eager to learn. I want to show them that learning is really both fascinating and fun." So just like, I don't know, I admire him like for his like skill and his creativity and his artistic eye. Again, like his sort of collage style is so unique among any like picture books I've ever seen. But also because like he had a really difficult childhood and then spent his entire career trying to make childhoods better for people around the whole world. And I think that's like such a beautiful like legacy to have. And also like, I can read his books 1,000 times without like wanting to rip my hair out, which is pretty much a miracle. So great work, Eric Carle. I feel like we're not on first name basis yet, but we're getting there.
I love that he's still out there making books. That's awesome.
Hey, can I steal you away?
Yes. Would you provide the accompaniment?
I mean, what I really want to, like, what's really stuck in my head is, like, we could do, like, bang, bang into the, and it's nice and short, but I think I just have that song in mind.
No, I think we should go with that.
Okay, so that was it, and it was a short one, but hey, our first sponsor this week is Blue Apron. Blue Apron is a new ointment. Blue Apron is a service that we are enthusiastic about. They send you a box, and the box is going to have a bunch of pre-portioned ingredients and recipes that you need to follow to use those ingredients in a method that will result in them becoming a home-cooked meal.
Okay.
And so they're really, really great. I learned how to cook using Blue Apron, just full stop, and it's a very handy skill. And we made a bunch of tasty dinners and enjoyed them together as lovers and in our lovers' bed. So and they encourage that a lot. So they have chef designed recipes you can use to cook incredible meals in as little as 20 minutes. You can get rid of your grocery list and let Blue Apron do the meal prep for you. Get out of your cooking rut and experience the joy of new recipes. You can check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals for free at blueapron.com/rose. That's blueapron.com/rose to get your first 3 meals for free. Blue Apron, better way to cook. Also, our sponsor this week, MeUndies. MeUndies sent Rachel and I matching lounge pants and t-shirts. I've talked about their lounge pants before. I have a black pair of lounge pants. They are fantastic, super comfortable. I wear them a lot. Now I have these sort of holiday green plaid print, and Rachel does too. And boy, howdy, have I been wearing the heck out of them.
Yeah.
They are so good. Holy shit.
Years and years ago, I bought Griffin a pair of MeUndies lounge pants. And I thought to myself, oh, wouldn't it be nice one day if I had my own pair? And that day has arrived. I am forever changed.
They are fucking phenomenal. I can't vouch for them enough. They use the coveted micromodal fabric, which is 3 times softer for cotton, both for their underwear, which is also fantastic and which I'm pretty much exclusively wearing these days, but also for their lounge pants. Men and women can each choose from 4 different cuts, which are all available from classic colors to adventurous prints. There's like jack-o'-lanterns. What am I wearing right now? Let's see. Oh, they're like Christmas light bulbs. This is I think from last year's vintage. They are launching holiday prints in their micromodal lounge pants and onesies as well. I bet the onesies are pretty choice. Anyway, they have a great offer for our listeners. For any first-time purchasers, when you purchase MeUndies, you can get 15% off and free shipping. So to get 15% off your first pair, free shipping, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/wonderful. That's MeUndies.com/wonderful.
You want to hear some messages?
Absolutely.
This one is for Chris. It is from Rochelle. Hey, I was able to nab a spot to loudly declare you as my favorite person. Thank you for the laughter and exasperated yelling at bad puns over the years, and for all the love and support through tough times in the past romantic year. I can't wait for the day we start forever, but until then, stop making awful names for normal things like children.
It's so fun, though. It's so fun, though, to see a child at the park and point at them and just go, Blovis. You are Blovis.
This is a real craft of the McElroy family, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of practice at it, though.
This next
Why
message...
didn't we name our son Blovis? It would have been. It sounds too much like Travis.
Okay, that would be the only reason.
That's the only reason why.
This next message is for Tyler. It is from Z Squad. From dancing goblins to dragon teeth and all of the absurd animal voices in between. It's weird, it's different, but it's right. Tyler, you've been an incredible DM for the Z Squad, despite our murder hobo ways, and we hope for many more adventures with you in the future. P.S. What time is it?
I mean, it's 8:47 p.m. Central Time on November the 13th. And this is All Things Considered. My name is Blovis Snately.
That does sound like an NPR name a little bit.
My name is Blovis Snately, and I'm here with my co-host, Prample Rashkins.
Thanks, Blovis.
Thanks, Prample.
Since the dawn of time, screenwriters have taken months to craft their stories. But now, 3 Hollywood professionals shall attempt the impossible. Break a story in 1 hour.
That's right. Here on Story Break, I, Freddie Wong,
Matt Arnold,
and Will Campos, the creators behind award-winning shows like Video Game High School,
have 1 hour to turn a humble idea into an awesome movie.
Now, an awesome movie starts with an awesome title.
I chose The Billionaire's Marriage Valley.
Mine was Christmas Pregnant Paradise.
Okay, next we need a protagonist.
So I've heard Wario best described as libertarian Mario.
and of course, every great movie needs a stellar pitch.
In order to get to heaven, sometimes you gotta raise a little hell. That's the tagline!
Check out Story Break every week on MaximumFun.org or wherever you get your podcasts.
You ready?
Yeah, second thing, hit me up with it now. Please.
This is another musical artist this week.
Yes.
It is Mia Follick.
Yes.
And
new to the scene, right? Like just dropped her first album.
To the scene. Her first full-length album came out last month.
Yes, I had not heard of her before you sent me a couple of her songs, and buckle up because they fucking own bones. They are so good.
So my friend Jacob posted on Facebook the song Stop Talking.
Yes.
He works for a PR company that represents a lot of musical talent.
Oh.
And so whenever he posts anything, I'm always like, oh, I'm going to look into this. So she is a Japanese-American singer-songwriter. Her first EP just came out in 2015. She had another one in 2017, and her debut album, Premonitions, came out in October. She was born in Santa Ana, California, and she studied classical voice.
Do you have on there how her band came about? Because I learned that fact and it blew me away.
Yes. So she attended NYU to study acting and then ended up going to the University of Southern California. But during a gap semester, a high school friend taught her how to play guitar. And so she decided to start her band using Tinder, where she created a profile that said, looking for a band.
So good. That's
lessons between her and Florence Welch from Florence and the Machine.
Yeah.
And so she gave an interview where she said, I didn't grow up listening to Tori Amos or the Cranberries or Sinead O'Connor, which are artists she all gets compared to a lot.
Yeah.
I did listen to a lot of Joni Mitchell. But she goes on to say, but I wasn't that interested in contemporary music. Now I listen to a lot of Bjork, which you can kind of hear.
Oh, yeah.
And then she says something that just warmed my heart so much. She said, I fucking love Fiona Apple. And if you go on to listen to her music, there's a song called Dead Body off her new album that feels very Fiona Apple to me. And
I want to look up this album right now. I'm very, very excited to get into this artist.
So again, the album is called Premonitions. It just came out last month. You can find it on Spotify or SoundCloud or whatever. But she's incredibly talented. She's touring in the UK right now. I think we may have missed her US tour. But I was so excited to listen. I just went through everything I could find on YouTube today because I think she's incredibly talented, and I was super excited.
Can I tell you about my first thing?
Yes. It's your second thing, though.
Well, yeah.
Unless you want to talk about Eric Carl again.
No, I mean, Eric Carl's my second thing. I did it first. This is my first thing.
The food, yes.
It's a food one. It's going to be so fast. I thought I would do this first and then just be over with. And I try to save my big one for the second act of our show. You know what I mean? So this will be kind of a weekday denouement, but it's ramen.
Okay.
It's ramen. I was kind of a latecomer to ramen and an even later comer to actual good ramen that you would get.
Me too. I didn't eat it in college the way a lot of people did.
I ate the instant ramen. I mean, there's a part of there's a part of this segment that is I feel indebted to instant ramen in a way, because there was definitely a couple of years there where I may have actually died from not eating if it had not been for this instant ramen. I ate it constantly. I ate it so much. And I'm not talking, there's good instant ramen out there. I have a recommendation, actually. We got some from Costco last time we were there. It's a miso ramen called, I think, Nissan Rao, RAOH. And it's just a really nice miso ramen. I'm into that. But this was not that. This was fucking top ramen, 13 cents a packet. But I'm not above that. There's no such thing as bad ramen. There's just ramen that's way, 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 way better than other ramen. But all ramen is beautiful in God's eyes. The reason I'm excited about ramen these days is it fulfills this place that I always wanted soup to fill when I was younger. There was no good soup when I was little in my mind. That's not true. My mom made a potato soup that I was crazy about. Every other kind of soup was bad. These days there's maybe 3 good soups.
Yeah, you're not really a soup guy.
No, I like a tomato basil bisque. Mm-hmm. That might even be it.
I think that's about it.
That might be it. A potato soup, I like a creamy, but I can't eat that much cream these days. Oh, you kidding me? Tomato basil bisque though, with a nice fancy grilled cheese to dip in that. I'll fuck with that any day of the week. But ramen is good. Ramen is very good. According to the record of the Yokohama Ramen Museum, ramen originated in China and made its way over to Japan in 1859. And early versions were just wheat noodles in broth topped with Chinese-style roast pork. They've definitely chopped and screwed it in the couple of centuries since then. But I mean, I still think ramen kind of still sticks close to that original formula. So today there are 4 kind of main types of ramen, non-instant ramen. Instant ramen is not one of the 4 types. There's 4 sort of flavor variations, and they are all sort of common throughout Japan, but some are more common in different regions compared to other ones. There is shoyu ramen, which is kind of the most common one. If you see on a menu that just says ramen, it's probably shoyu ramen, which is, a meat-based broth flavored with soy sauce. That's sort of the basic starter ramen, and it has the usual fixins in it, right? Ramen usually, fancy nice ramen will have slices of pork and maybe a hard-boiled egg, some bamboo, some mushrooms, a bunch of different options there.
Bonito flakes.
Bonito flakes for sure. There's shio ramen. Shio is Japanese for salt, I believe, which is a lighter sort of chicken broth based ramen, sort of a lighter variation of the shoyu ramen. And then there's miso ramen, which I've been getting into lately. It has miso in it, the soybean paste in it, so it creates sort of a thicker, heartier sort of broth. That actually originates in Hokkaido, where the winters are very long and very, very cold. So like they wanted a big boy ramen, a thick boy ramen. So that's sort of where that comes from. And then the ramen that I feel like is like super common here around Austin, because we are a land of excess, is tonkatsu ramen, which is pork bone broth. So it is just like so like thick and cloudy and fatty as hell.
Yes.
They are all so good. Like I genuinely do enjoy all of these different types of ramen. There's some other sort of variations. There's dipping ramen, where you just have your noodles in one bowl and then a bowl of like really thick sauce and usually like ground meat and fixins in there. And you literally,
that's my favorite.
That's Rachel's favorite. I like
get it at Michi Ramen.
Michi Ramen here in Austin. It fucks me up. It is so fat. It is so fatty.
Very hard on your body. Yes.
It really takes you out of commission for a while. These days, I really just like, a basic sort of shoyu ramen, just like a nice hot bowl of ramen. And I get excited about it because like, I love a good broth. Good Lord, do I love a good broth. I think I've talked about pho on this show and how picky I am. There's like one pho place in Austin that I actually like their pho, because I don't know, broth is such a commitment. When you're eating a broth, like you're eating a lot of stuff and it's a very assertive flavor and you're going to be with it for a while. I want it to taste really good.
Yeah.
And we are lucky to live in a city where like we have lots of great ramen opportunities. I also like need to point out that when we were in Japan, we ate ramen constantly, and the ramen sort of restaurant experience in Japan is maybe the idealized like dining experience for me, because at a lot of places they are very, very sort of small kitchens with like rows of seats or private slurping booths at some places. A lot of the places like you just want to get in, eat some ramen, get out and get back to your day.
Yeah.
A lot of those places will have basically kind of a vending machine outside where you punch in like what kind of ramen you want, what sort of fixins you want, you pay for it, and then you get a little ticket that you hand to somebody inside the restaurant, and then 45 seconds later your ramen is ready for you. And then you can just like blast it down your gullet and like go back outside with like a full, warm, hearty belly.
We had a very nice person in Japan explain to us how that process worked, because when you stand in front of the machine, it can be a little intimidating.
You're like, how's this machine gonna make all the ramen inside of it? No, it just prints out a ticket that you hand to the person inside. But like, that's fucking great, man. Like, obviously there's lots of dining experiences that I want to be like nice and long and social and enjoy myself. But a lot of the times I wish I could just like walk into a restaurant with a ticket in hand that will get me food 30 seconds later. It's so fucking great. But yeah, ramen is just like, I don't like soup, right? And so I don't have a lot of like wet food options. I don't have a lot of like liquid food options.
It took me a long time to kind of get my head around the idea that it was a noodle dish that was also soup.
Right.
Took me a lot, and I still sometimes find myself choosing one over the other. Like, oh, I really like the soup part of this, but I'm not as into the noodles. Or I'm really into the noodles, but not as into the soup.
I almost always do that as well. There are places I like the noodles and fixins better at Ramen Tatsuya here in Austin, but I definitely like the broth better at Michi.
Yeah, I agree.
The broth is so, I could just drink that shit for like just that. I would just drink a cup of their broth for lunch one day. It is so unbelievably good. But yeah, I love ramen. I went from like not eating it at all, except for the instant stuff, all the way up until like my late 20s. And then I was like, oh shit, this is the best food ever.
When you had, since I was never really one to consume this, I'm curious, when you had the instant, what was your flavor of choice?
Chicken.
Okay.
Chicken.
There were a lot of flavors in there that I couldn't get on board with.
There was like a chili lime flavor that was all right. I was kind of okay with that, but almost always chicken. And then sometimes I'd mix in stuff with it.
Did it taste like chicken?
Oh, no.
Okay.
It tasted like...
just salt, right?
It tasted, well, it kind of tasted like if you had put salt in one end of the Large Hadron Collider, and then salt on the other end of the Large Hadron Collider, and then shot them into each other at the speed of light to create a sort of like super salt black hole that you taste with your mouth, and then you don't piss for a week. So it's kind of like that.
Okay.
I will say I've been doing my Fitness Pal, so it like tracks your nutritional facts and stuff like that. And when I punched in this ramen I recommended to all of our listeners at the start of the show, it was like, yo, you just passed up by a wide margin your daily sort of recommended dose of sodium just in this one bowl of instant ramen, my friend. You need to go drink a glass of water. It said go drink water right now, Griffin.
I'll wait.
Hey, can I tell you about what our friends at home are excited about?
Yes.
I got one here from Kyle who says, I can enjoy a good trailer almost as much as a good movie. I love trailers. Just this week, I watched the new Super Smash Brothers trailer and the Detective Pikachu trailer multiple times, each because they are both so enjoyable. Try to get Rachel excited about Detective Pikachu. No takers there. I don't have an outlet for this shit anymore, but let me just say on our podcast, wonderful. I think it looks fucking choice as hell.
I was confused because it reminded me of like a Paddington.
Yes.
But it was Pikachu.
And Paddington owns Bones, and this is with Pikachu in it. And it's got all my favorite Pokemon friends in it.
I feel like I don't know enough about Pikachu to really know where this might take him. You know?
Yeah, you really got to watch the anime
like
to get that
Detective
stuff.
Pikachu to me is kind of like what I don't know what regular Pikachu is.
Kind of like Assassin Mario. It's like, why is he doing that? Here's one from Olivia who says, I work in the office of my university's earth science department. In the hallway outside the office, there's a seismometer, the machine that shows a squiggly line to measure earthquakes, hooked up so that people can see their footsteps register on it. I think it's wonderful when I'm sitting at my desk and I can hear people exaggeratedly stomping past the office so that they register a bigger earthquake. Even most of the professors do it. That's so cute. It's so unrelatable, but also such a nice little slice of life that I just was.
We should have like a big window
Yeah.
in the office. I hope that you can like see it happen.
Or like a Nest cam, like recording people just like silly walking down this hallway. You know what I meant.
But it did make me think about when they have those signs up that like measure your speed.
Oh, yeah.
You always kind of want to like see what would happen if you just ran real fast by them.
Do you do that?
I've never had.
Rachel.
I never
It's
have.
a criminal crime.
To run real fast?
Oh, to run. I thought you were talking about driving.
No.
Okay, so Anne says, something I find wonderful is when you perfectly fry an egg over easy without breaking the yolk or sticking to the pan, especially when you manage it on a cast iron pan. It's such a simple thing, but it makes me feel so accomplished and proud of myself. Cooking an egg good is the best feeling.
I've never tried it on a cast iron. I bet that's difficult.
Nor I. Yeah, I bet so, because you don't get that nonstick sort of assistance. The one time I poached an egg and I got like a few perfect poached eggs, that feels so good. It's not that hard, but
I was so impressed.
it looks very impressive.
Yes.
Hey, thanks to Bowen and Augustus for the use of our theme song, Money Won't Pay. You can find a link to that in the episode description. Thank you to MaximumFun.org, the website.
Yes, thank you, Maximum Fun, for hosting our show and hosting just dozens of other really, really good shows. Shows like Switchblade Sisters and
That's it. That's the only show on the network.
International Waters.
Paring Down. International Waters is on there. Friendly Fire.
I'm trying to think of ones we don't mention all the time.
There's so many. There's definitely ones that we haven't mentioned.
Minority Corner.
Minority Corner.
Heat Rocks.
There's a lot of great shows. It's all at MaximumFun.org. If you want to hear other stuff we do, it's at McElroyshows.com. McElroy mailing list. If you want like future announcements, it's at bit.ly/McElroy mail. I think that might be it.
I think so.
Well, I wish it's felt weird. It felt off, hasn't it? The outro. It's felt off. It almost feels like we do need like a kiss your dad square on the right. Because that would be a much easier sort of way to. Because Rachel, let's take you behind the curtain. Rachel and I often sit here inside. We did just now sit here in silence for a good 10 to 15 seconds, just looking at each other, like say something funny. So I think we need to get the council together and really figure out a nice closing catchphrase.
Oh wait, I got one.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's 30% of your body weight you'll never get back. What do you think?